Let me reset my windows so they're all kind of organized. Remember, if your windows are all messed up, like mine are all messed up in this program, you can go under Window, Workspace Layout, Reset Windows, Reset Expanded, because I'm in expanded mode here. Puts everything back over here on this side, puts the Properties window back at the bottom, kind of reorganizes everything the way back to the way it should be when you install the program or default mode. Next, I'm going to make a new file by going under File, New, and I'm just going to use a plain HTML file, none, and I'm going to hit Create. So to make the library item, basically what you do first is make the content, then you take the content and tell it to be a library item. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a really simple header. I'm going to make a simple header. You should know how to do that. We're just going to make a little box. Then we'll make a simple navigational bar like we do with the UL, LI, the same thing like that, just like that. Then what I'll do is I'll take the content or the code. You can take it using code view. You'll take the HTML code that you want and you save it as a library item. That's what I'm going to demonstrate, and that's the technique I will use. So you can make your own header and footer. I'll talk about it as I'm doing it, but you pretty much hopefully can do this on your own by now. Here we go. I'm going to even use just code view. I'm sorry. I can't deal with the design view anymore. Plus, in the new version of Dreamweaver, the design view isn't used anymore anyways. You know what I mean? So, of course, we can just hit our make a div tag. And maybe give it a class. What is this? Header. And then close my div tag. And let's make another div tag. Give that a class. We'll call this our navigation. And then close that. And then we'll make our menu in there. So inside there, inside this area, here, let me make the text a little bigger for you so you can see what I'm typing. Hold on one second. What are we at? Fonts. Well, it's pretty big already. There we go. So to make, of course, our navigational bar, you can give it a UL. Then, of course, each one will be a line item, a list item. And then what are we doing? We're doing products. Oops. And then to make my life easier, I usually will just copy and paste the list item, right? Let's do 5. What else do we have? Okay, so again, I made a box for the top. I called it header. Then I made a next div tag. I called it nav. And then inside the nav, I have my standard UL, LI. We don't need to have the rollover effect unless you really want to. Oh, and I need my end URL. Thank you. There we go. And if you haven't put ULs inside of ULs, it's possible to do those kind of things. ULs instead of... So to make a submenu, you can use a UL inside a UL. I know we didn't really go into too much detail, but if you look at the way this is built, this pull down menu you see here is actually ULs inside of a UL. Okay, this is a list item that's inside of this list item. Okay. And of course you can use your inspector pad, and you see I have UL, and then another, see there's a UL inside of a UL here. UL inside of a UL, UL, UL.
Can we add a footer so that it's not all sequential?
You want a footer?
Yeah.
You can make a footer. Oh, I'd probably not put it in. Put it below this div tag here. And maybe if you want, we could use design view to make our links if you want. Makes it easier on me when I don't have to type in my A tags.
Do we keep the CSS in the actual file, or does it go into a different file?
The CSS can be inside the library item, but it can also be an external file that's linking. So, is that what you're asking?
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Yes. Yes. So we have that. We have this. I don't know what happened to my footer. Maybe did I make it wrong? Div class footer. I don't know. It should be another item. There's this item. There's this item. And there's this item. I don't know. In design view, I see. Oh, there it is. It's squeezed down there. It just doesn't have any dimension to it. Then all I did was make links here. See, I just put these links for our button. So we'll go through, make the CSS to format it, and then again, I'm going to take the navigational bar and make it what's called a library item. If I can remember how to do it. There it is. That's how to do it. First, let's do it. Let's format it first. It's underneath modified library item, add object to library. That's how we'll do it. But let's format it first, okay? Because we want to do it first. So again, if you want to format your site, you can format your site using your famous, if not famous, CSS designer here. We love the CSS designer. So again, to do all the CSSing, if that's a word, is that a word, CSSing? We could call it a CSS. For today, you can make an external one or add to head if you want. Of course, mostly to make it, if this was a real site, I would make an external one. But for right now, I'm just going to say define in page. Define in page. And of course, the first one I'm going to use is I'm going to use my body tag. So again, I'm in the CSS designer. I said add to the head section. I went down to my selector and I'm going to change the body. And in the body, I'm just going to give it a width. That way it's not stretched all the way across. Let's give it what, 500? I don't know why it's not typing. 500 pixels. And how did we center it? Margin of auto, right? Says, how do I get auto to show up here? Oh, click here, auto, auto. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry, my screen isn't very big, so again, I made it 500 pixels body, 500 pixels wide, and auto, just so that I have it in the center. And if you haven't tried making the background of the body tag a gradient, you might want to try that sometime. The downfall of doing that, of course, is how it will change as you scroll. That's all. Okay, next I'm going to hit the plus button, and I think we called the class a header, right? H-E-A-D-E-R. Header with a dot. Remember, put a dot in there because it's a class, right? Boy, this is like review. See, last week of review. Last week of review. So my box at the top, what do we want to do? We want to give it maybe a color. There we go. Maybe put some text in there. That's fine. So I just added some color to my header just so I can see it. That's all. Then let's format the navigational bar, right? What are 3 things you need for the navigational bar, right? You need to adjust the UL to get rid of the bullets, right? And then the LI for the thing, and if you want a rollover effect, you put the hover thing, right? So here we go. This is review day. Then we'll make it a library item. Again, I'm going to click on the style box right here, style to make it easy. I'm going to hit the little plus right here, and it's going to nav. You can do nav UL, nav UL, nav UL. Remember, it's called nav, the whole box, right? So we're going to change the UL of the nav. It's perfectly fine. And then I'm going to go all the way to the very bottom, right? All the way to the very bottom of the nav URL, and where it says list style, we're going to change that to none. That gets rid of the bullets, right? And to get rid of the spacing, we go all the way up to the block element, all the way up to the display, here, the display, and change it to inline. So the 2 things I changed in the UL, if you remember this, we did this, what, week 3, week 2 in class? Wow. That was, what, 10 weeks ago. Woof. Time sure flies when you're having fun, right? So you can't forget anything. Okay, again, I did .nav because that was the name of the box, and then I'm changing the UL. Inline, display is inline, and then again, to change the dot to get rid of the period, or no, that's a bullet. I guess a bullet all the way at the end, none. Anybody ready to move on? Okay, so we're going to do nav, UL, LI, A. So again, we're going to come down here. We're going to hit the little plus button. It's going to be .nav, .ul, .li, oh not dot, I'm sorry, space, and then A. You just type it in if you want. It's nav, ul, li, A. Now, since it's 500 pixels across, right? 500 pixels across, we could cheat and probably just put 100 pixels in here, right? 100 pixels. 100 pixels. Making things, because there's 5 of them, right? And it's 500 across. So 100 pixels across. I know we were using percentages. Ooh, back in the days. And then the display is going to be what? Block. And then no margin, no padding, none of that stuff. Oh, we can float them left, right? Remember doing that? Boom, and they go across, right? So again, what did I do? I did 100 pixels so that they're all even. I made the display a block element. Then I'm coming down and I do left, float left, so that they all kind of next to each other like that. Then I'm going to go down, 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 down. And let's center the text under text align. That boom, we'll put them in the center. You don't want the underline on your links. You can turn them off under text decoration. Boom, they're gone. If you want to change your font, you can do that. under font family. Ooh, that looks good. And then if you want space, you can do margin top a little bit if you want. Ooh, not too much. No, that doesn't really change the margin, does it? It just moved it down a little bit. How do we get L-I-A? I don't know how to change the space. Oh, but if you want your box to have a color, you can get a background. Oh, no gradient. Oh, it already made a gradient, didn't it? Let's make a gradient. Ooh, there we go. That didn't work, did it? I guess it only works when you preview, huh? Oh, there it is. Woo! Look at that navigational bar. That is so cool, or what? And then, I don't know. We don't have to do the rollover effect. You already know how to do all that stuff. I'm sure of that. So the last thing I'm going to do, of course, is change the footer. So to adjust the footer, I'm going to hit the little plus. Let's put in dot footer. And I don't know, give the footer some width. What was it, 500? I guess we don't even need to do that. Maybe some height. Maybe give it a color. Ooh. Remember how we had our colors in there last time? Oh, my footer never shows up here. My footer not working. It's there though when I see it. Oh, it's over here. Guess we have to clear the float left. No. Oh, there we go. Clear the float left, and your footer will go back to where it needs to be. So if you're having problems doing things like that, you might need to clear the float left, right? Clear float left will put your footer back underneath.
Jeff, wouldn't we need to do some phony content section? Because your footer is, I mean, there's going to be content in between that.
Yeah. No, I just want to teach you a library item. If you want, you can make a little content if you want.
No.
The important thing is how to save the library item and then use it on another page.
But I guess my point is that if you were doing this and your content would all be off on the right then, if you didn't float your content left.
Yeah, if you would put a content box in there, I would clear left there too also. The reason why it's the next item down, right? You want me to I can put a box in there. I'm okay with that. I can put a content box in there.
Well, it's just unrealistic not to have a content box.
I understand. I'm cool with that. And of course, we can put whatever you want in there.
Do you have to put anything in there? I mean, if it's a library, how would you overwrite it if there's something phony in it?
What's that? I'm sorry.
If it's a library item and you have some fake text in there, how do you overwrite it?
No, I wouldn't use a library item for something that changes. I would use a library item for something that's the same on every web page.
So content wouldn't be the same
Yeah, that would be different. I would use maybe a template for that. We're going to talk about that next. So we're going to do library item, and then I'll show you how to make a template and use a template. So those are two production things that you might want to use. Um, So, in order to use the library item, you want to use it on something that's the same on every page, on every site, right? Because it's something that you want to put on every site, but in the future, you might want to change it so it's going to save you time of having to open up every page and change it. Kind of like the CSS, but you're using it for HTML. If that makes any sense. Okay, this is the same concept as CSS, but for the HTML. Any questions? You ready to move on? So let's see what we got. We got a web page. You might even put the header as a library item too, because that might be something that would be on every site, right? So maybe you can include the header as well as a navigational bar as a library item, and then the content, and even the footer could be a library item too. Okay, a little bit different than a template though. A little different than a template. So you ready? You guys ready for me to try this? Okay, here we go. So how to do this is the easiest way is to choose. I like the code view because the code view you can select things easier. Okay, so again, I'm going to go to the code view and I'm going to take and put my header and my navigational bar in what's called a library item. So what you do is you select what you want. I'm going to go all the way from the div tag for the navigational bar all the way to the div tag for the header. So I'm going to take all this and I'm going to make it a separate file called a library item. To do that, we go to the modify. So I selected first, right? Remember, I selected everything in blue. I selected. Then go to modify, library. Oh, no, that's not working. Update pages, update current page, add object to library. That's what I want to do. I want to add object to library. No. Maybe I have to do it in design view. Hold on, let me see it. Modify, library item, add object to library. I don't know. How about this? Go and select it first in the code view, then go to the design view and say add object to library. How about that? That seemed to work. Let's try it. This selection may not look the same when placed in other documents because the style sheet information is not copied with it. They're warning you that, of course you have CSS attached to it. Of course your CSS would be an external file in most cases, right? So it shouldn't matter. So I wouldn't worry about that. I'm going to hit OK.
Jeff, I can get it. I don't know how you went to the design view and were able to get that object not highlighted.
Okay, let me undo then. Oh, it's not going to let me undo that. I went to code view. I highlighted what I wanted. Then I went to design view and said modify library item, add object to library. And then it should put it in here, something called a library. It's in the assets window that we were looking at last class. Remember last class we were looking at the assets window? I'm going to call this header and nav. Header and nav. It didn't work for you? Okay, let me try again. Let me try again. Hold on. Let me delete. Okay, so what is it not doing for you? Can you see the code? Yes. Did you highlight between the div here and the div there? So you have all that in blue. And then I went under modify. Oh, first we went back to design view. Go back, click on design. Then I went underneath modify, library, add object to library. Did you get that so far, Susan?
Yeah.
Is it working for you now?
I tried to do it when it was in split view and that didn't work.
Oh, I don't know why it doesn't work in CodeView. You would think it would work in CodeView. It would make more sense to work in CodeView. So I don't know. It's a Adobe product. They don't really think at Adobe. I guess they're not going to hire me to make their videos either after I say things like that on my videos. So let's go under Modify Library, Add Object to Library. And then again, it's giving you the CSS warning. Just hit OK. Again, remember last class we were looking at the assets window. The library item will become one of the assets. Okay, it's like a little book. It's towards the bottom. It's asking you to give it a name. You can give it a name. I'm calling this header underscore and underscore footer. How about that? So it becomes and update the links of the following. Yes, I'm going to hit update. And when I clicked off, it said update links. That's fine. Not sure exactly what that's doing, but okay. So again, last class we were looking at all of the things in the assets window, right? In the assets window, we had color, we had photos, we had commonly used links, right? We had videos, we had scripts. Remember that? Okay. So this is the last item. It looks like a little book. It's called a library item. So how could we use the library item? Well, if you make a new page from an existing page, it automatically comes over. If we look at the code, inside of Dreamweaver, you'll notice there's an option that says library.lbi. LBI. So it's going to be a separate file. So let's save. Let's go under File, Save As. Go under File, Save All. Save all. How about that? And then let's go look at our Files window. What has Dreamweaver done? If we look at our files, remember files is where we keep all our files, and we open that up, you'll notice in our Define Site folder, Dreamweaver has automatically made a folder inside there called Library. So if you look at your folder that you define site to, if you look inside there, it has a folder now called Library. And if you open up that library, you'll notice there's a file in there. It's called header and footer.lbi. So this is now needs to stay with your HTML. This is attached to your HTML. If you were to upload this, all the files to the server to work on your web server, you need to upload the library item. It needs to stay in the same structure, directory structure. So if the library item's at the top level, it needs to go along. Okay? It's kind of like the CSS example, like I'm saying here, right? So they need to go along. They are friends forever. Here's how we can use the library item. One way to use the library item is just to make a new page, right? If I just go under and say, if I go under File, Save As to make a new page, and I'm going to call it, how about Properties page? Or no, Products. Remember, I have a Products link, products.html. If I make a new page from an existing page, it already has the library item in there. You can see it there. So if you make a new page from the existing page with the library item, it already has the library item attached, right? Do you understand that? Another way to use the library item is if you make a new blank page. Watch this, a new blank page. If I make a new blank page, I can actually take the, and I'm going to go to Design View. I don't know if it works in Code View. I can take the library item from my Assets window and I can drag it out onto my screen and it should put it there. Okay, so you can drag from the Assets window out to a new document and it'll put it there. The problem, of course, is I don't have the CSS. Remember the warning it gave us with the CSS? That's why it's not formatted the same. Now, if I had an external, I would attach an external style sheet to this page, boom, it would be back to normal, right? So it's basically, you can use the library item just like we did last class. Remember I was dragging photos out of the Assets window, right? And I was dragging scripts out of the Assets window. The library items are just another item. Now I don't know if it works in the Code View. Let's try that. No, they want to open. File new. Let's try. I don't think it's probably going to work in Code View. So I don't know how it will work with the new version of Dreamweaver, which doesn't really have a code or design view. Let's see. Oh, it just puts the code in there. Looks like it did it just fine. Do you see that? Even doing it in the code view seemed like it worked. Notice how the content is yellow. Yellow. Why is it yellow? Well, if I kind of try and make a change, it won't let me. It won't let me make a change. Notice that. It's locking me out of making a change. You can't make a change to a library item. The reason why, it's because it's an external file. To make the change to the library item, you have to go to the library item to make the change. So if you want to remove, let's say, one of the links on here, I could go to the properties window and say open. Open right here. So go to the properties window and say open, and it'll open the library item up and you can make a change. Here's how to do it. If I hit open, it opens it up. It looks like a web page, but it's really a library item. If I look at the extension after I hit open, look at the extension at the top. You'll notice it says .lbi. Do you see that at the top? .lbi. You can then go and make a change to your library item. Get rid of one of your little navigational links. Save that file. And then any of the web pages that this was attached to will have that change. Right? That way it saves you. Because if I go back to my first page I made and say update, you might have to update somehow. Oh, it's still there. Yeah. Defeating the purpose here. Hold on. Defeating the purpose here. I did save that, didn't I? Maybe I need to save this too. Hold on, let me save this. Whatever. Save that. No, it's still there. But it's gone here. Maybe I need to refresh. How about if I close it? Oh, it's gone here on this one. It's gone on these two. Oh, that is my library item. Hold on, let me open them up. What is my first page? It's called library item. Here it is. It's still there. What about my products page? It's still there. In the code, though, it's still there. Don't know why. Didn't I attach this library item there? Why is there a .1 here? Why is there a .1 here? Do you see that? Why is it called 1? I must have made a mistake when I named it. Why is it called 1? See, it's called 1 here. This one's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Why do I have a .1 here? It should be... I don't have a .1. I don't know why it changed the name here.
Maybe you saved it the first time before we had to go back and try it again and do it.
Oh, header and footer should be the name of that. Header and footer, right? No. It's header and footer? Is that what I called my library item? Header and footer? I thought it was header and nav. Still there. Doesn't make any sense to me. But it's gone here. Oh, it still says library item 1 though. Look at that. I don't understand where the 1 came from. There's a theory behind it, though. It should work. How about that? Let's move on. I don't know. I don't know why it no, that's right there. But why does it still have home on there? Is this not library item.lib? I don't know why. How could it be? How could this be? That worked. That one, that one. This one, that's library item. This one for some reason, oh, it finally updated. Looked like it took forever, but this one still has home on it. I have no idea. But in theory, that's what it's supposed to do. I don't know why. You know how fickle this program is, right? Yes?
I tried working with library items a little. I think what they said was that if you change the HTML in one library item, like you can actually change the HTML of the library item on one page and it won't update to the other page. It's only if you go into the library, like if you make the changes in that asset window, that's when it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you go over here. You need to open it up by double clicking on it, and it should open up in header and footer LBI.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe what happened is if you try to change the code right on the page,
Mm-hmm.
like if you go to library.html and try to change the code there, that doesn't update in the library.
There's also a refresh button here in the library item, refresh site list. I think that you might need to do that. But still doesn't change this. I don't know why.
When you drag the thing, I'm doing it from the file, you have to drag it from the assets.
See, it's still not there. I don't know how this could be. What's that?
You have to drag it from the assets, not the files, right?
You can drag it here onto your page, yes. Maybe because I made it from an existing page, like you're saying there, you know, I made it.
What happens if you delete the page that's not updated? What happens if you delete that code and then put that library file back in from the assets window?
Yeah. I tried that. Let's try it. So I don't know why this is not updating automatically. It should. Yeah, now it has it, so I don't know. I've used it successfully on a page that had, you know, like 100 different pages with the library item attached, and I changed the menu by changing the library item. I changed all the files. It would saved me days worth of work easily. So it might be something useful for you. But it might be fickle. Fickle is a word. Fickle might work, might not. Okay. So I don't want to deal with this library item anymore. So I'm gonna actually remove the library code inside of Dreamweaver. There it is. Out to lunch. It's gone. And then I'm gonna save this file as my template example. So again, here's my web page. Oh, let me put my last line back in here. Let me put my last line back in here. Here it is. Okay. So let's assume this is the most beautiful website ever made for a big company. And in this case, I want to each section of the company to be able to update their own part, right? So what I would do is I would build something called a template inside of Dreamweaver that allows people to change only a certain section of the site. So how the template works inside of Dreamweaver is by saving a template and then giving access rights to only part of the site. In this case, we only want the people at the company to change this stuff in here. We don't want them messing with the navigation. We don't want them messing with the header. We don't want them messing with the footer. So the steps to do this is to first save as a template, then alter the template to give rights to people. So to save this as a template, I'm going to use just my code that I have right now, this page right here. I'm going to go underneath File, Save as Template. File, Save as Template. And, oh yeah, that's where we want. It's just asking me what folder we're saving it in my site. Existing template, there's no template. Save as template example, so there's no template. Yes, I know there's no template. We want to give it a description. This is going to be a school site. No template, no template. Library item. Save as template, no templates. Update links. I don't know what I just did, but it made a template. Hold on, let me do it again. I have no idea why it would. I just double clicked on it and it made it a template. How do I know that? Because it has a .dwt up here. How did I do that again? Well, no, it's file, save as template. Now it's in there, template example. Oh, this is the name down here is what I should have called it. Well, that's okay. Let me start again. Can I delete this? Where's the trash can? Oh, painful. Painful, all these windows. Okay, let me go again. Let me do this again. Go away. I deleted you. Oh. Hold on, let me go back to oh God, I have to go all the way back to the beginning again. Hold on. Oops, home. Okay, here we go. Let's start again. Again, I have my website. Here is my website. It's an HTML site. It's an HTML site right here. So what I want to do is I want to save this HTML site as a template that I can use. To do that, I'm going to go underneath File, Save as Template. In the Save as Template window, this should pop up. First site is asking me where to save the template. Well, I'm saving it in my folder, so I'm not going to mess with that. Next, I can give my template a description. This is my site. I don't know. This is going to be the name of the template down here, Save As, right here, where it says Save As. And it's going to be the main site template, whatever you want to call it. When I'm done putting a name here, maybe a description there, I'm going to hit Save. It says, do you want to update your links? You're going to say yes. The reason why you want to update your links is because the links are going to be embedded into the template. So they may need to reorganize for the linking structure of your website. Now you say to yourself, well, it doesn't look any different. No, it doesn't look any different. If you notice up here where it says main site template.dwt, do you see it? Main site template.dwt. This is DWT stands for Dreamweaver template. Now, the Dreamweaver template is totally editable at this point. Totally editable at this point. But if you make a website from this template, if you make a website from this template, you will be, or an HTML file from the template, you'll be totally locked out. Watch what I mean. So I have again, I'm using a .dwt file. See it right here? If I make a new page, let's go under File, New. I'm going to make a new web page under File, New. When I do that, you'll notice there's something called Site Templates in the new window. Do you see it right here? In the new window. Inside there should be an example for my site template. It is in there. Okay, so I can make a new page from an existing template. If I make a new page from an existing template, it looks the same. I just made a new page from an existing page. Looks the same. But notice I didn't make any editable regions. There's no editable regions. So if I tried to make a change, I get the no sign, right? Like no this, no that. The reason why is in my template, I didn't give anybody access to any areas. So there's no way for me to make a change inside of Dreamweaver. The only way to make a change in Dreamweaver to the template is to make a change in the DWT file or the Dreamweaver template. Let's go back and make a change from the template. So here again, I've saved my website as a template. It's .dwt, Dreamweaver template. What I want to do is I want the people that to make their adjustment in this area here, in this well, not this one, in the one for content. Where's my content? Content, here it is, yeah, for the content. Right here. I want to give the people access to make the changes to the content section of the website. I don't want them to mess with the navigation. I don't want them to mess with the header. I don't want them to mess with the footer. So what I'm going to do with my Dreamweaver template, again, I'm in the DWT file right here. I'm going to give them access to this. Okay, how I do that is I go under Insert, Template, Editable Region. Editable region. If I say editable region, it's going to ask me to give it a name. This is going to be main content. How about that for the name of an editable region? And I'm going to hit OK. What it does is it puts some code in there. You'll notice right here it says template begin editable region. Call it main content. And then it says template end editable region. Because you can have more than one editable region per website. Right? You might have some people changing different areas of the site. If you look in the code view, it doesn't really look much different. Okay, it doesn't look much different. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my file. I'm going to save my DWT template, Dreamweaver template. I'm going to save that. Now if I make a new page from the template, save the template. Now if I make a new page from the template by going under File, New, and I'm going to say Site Templates. I'm going to make a new site from the template, If I say Create, here it is. Remember last example, I couldn't make any changes, right? No changes here, no changes there. But I can go in here and I can give it a name. I can change things inside the editable region. Look. I can change things in the editable region. Then I can save that as an HTML file. New updates. Whatever you want to call it. Now just like before with the library item, when you make a template, it's going to become one of the items in your site folder. If you look over here, you'll see I have one now called templates. That's where the DWT is stored. The Dreamweaver template is stored inside of your site window. So this now is a way to make a site that people are locked out of an area. Oh, I can make a change to an area. And I've seen people use templates. I've successfully used templates on websites before. They save time because if you want to make a change, just like the library item, remember making a library item change? You can go to the Dreamweaver template and you can make a change to the template and it should automatically update the other ones to kind of the same concept, I believe. So, I hope so. I think so. I don't know. That's a good question. But you do have an editable region. So again, all these things come from, actually this came from Macromedia. They actually started, Dreamweaver back then. And again, what they used to have in Adobe was Contribute. Here it is. Adobe Contribute. And I don't know, Contribute used to be part of what you would get with Dreamweaver, and it would do that, but I don't know how it works now. Looks like you still have editable Regency. Remember this thing? Yeah, I don't know. Uh-oh, I got their internal video here. Doesn't even work. Welcome to the Adobe site. Still loading. Really? Really, really. Their example doesn't work. Whatever. You don't need to use templates if you don't want to. I just wanted to point them out that they are there for you if you want to try them and see what they can do. They may help you if you have a larger website that you're trying to manage.